Welcome to the Irish Farmers Journal Weekly Podcast, brought to you by Ornua, the home of Irish dairy.
Hi, I'm Thomas Hubert, Digital Editor with the Irish Farmers Journal, and I'm standing here at our stand on the Ploughing on day 2 of the event, near closing time and still really busy. Still a lot of people queuing up for our free high-vis jackets, a lot of people thronging the lanes and the alleyways here at the Ploughing with a lot of sun and a gentle breeze, very nice weather, so a lot of people enjoying as much of the day as they can. So let's hear from some of these people, thanks to my colleague Amy Fitzgibbon, who went round and recorded impressions from many of the visitors at the Ploughing.
I'm here with Heather and David, and how are you enjoying your day so far, Heather?
Very good, I really enjoyed it. Now I've just been to the fashion show.
What was it like?
Very good. Fashions are lovely.
Excellent. And
outfits are lovely, especially the men.
You can't be saying that now to David. Do you go to the fashion show every year?
Yes.
Yeah. Twice. And what were you doing?
I was watching the Ploughing.
You're watching the Ploughing. That's what, the Ploughing Championships, that's what it's all about, really, isn't it? And people forget about that. It
does. It was very good too.
What was it like?
Very good. Very enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
Because the weather was good.
Exactly. Were you here last year?
Yes, it was indeed.
Was it
the year before.
Was it nice? And the year before?
It was nice.
So you come on a regular basis?
Oh yes, we come down on Sunday and we're staying the Thursday.
So you stay for the 3 days?
Yes.
And how do you spread out your time over the 3 days?
Well, I'll go to the Ploughing tomorrow again.
Again, okay.
And let Heather walk about on her own.
You go back to the fashion show?
Yeah.
And have you bought anything here? What have you got with you?
A nice new jacket.
Oh, very nice.
There's lovely fashion shops. I buy a wee jacket every year. Quite reasonable.
It's good value, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. And do you find the whole thing is good value?
It is.
Yeah.
It is indeed.
Yeah. And are you staying locally?
Oh, we're staying just down the field, the caravan. The caravan park. They have a
that's
caravan
so handy.
park.
There's 200 and some caravans, isn't there? Caravans and motorhomes.
So I'm here with Orla, Dara and Ronan at the Ploughing. And so tell me, guys, what have you been up to today so far?
Looking at things.
What kind of things?
Tractors.
Tractors. No. They're very popular. Do you not like the tractors, Orla? What would you?
Tractors.
What do you like?
Clothes.
The clothes. Have you been to the fashion show?
No.
Will you be going to the fashion show?
No.
Do you think you'll get these guys to go with you to the fashion show?
No. I like the free stuff.
And the free stuff. Have you got much free stuff?
Yeah, loads.
Yeah. Is this your first year at the Ploughing?
Second.
And you'll be coming back?
Yeah.
Next year. And what do you want to do when you grow up?
Farmer.
I'm here with Pat Keeley outside the press tent. Are you enjoying it so far?
Oh, yes. Yeah? Plenty to see. Plenty of machinery and met plenty of neighbours and everything too.
Yeah.
Looking for a wife and 2 children too. You know where they are. Lost them this morning early,
Did you? Are they at the fashion show maybe?
I suppose they are. They could be anywhere.
They could be.
Mrs. The neighbours are below the stalls and where the stalls is. No.
And have you got a map with you?
No. I just follow my nose.
Follow your nose.
Yeah.
Follow your nose to the machinery.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was it very impressive?
Yes, it was. Oh, yes.
Is it more impressive than last year, or?
Oh, sure. Yeah. It stayed dry anyway. Yeah. You think if you didn't come to it, you'd miss something.
So I'm here now with David and Michael David. David, is this your first time at the Ploughing?
First time here, yes, yeah.
Is it your first time? Mm-hmm. And how about yourself, Michael?
Yeah, first time. So,
yeah. And what made you come down this year?
I thought it would be a very interesting day to come to, a lot of advertisement, looking at the Farmers Journal there last week, we said we go for the experience.
Okay, so it was kind of the supplement helped.
It did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you think of it so far?
Very good, pile of people around,
Yeah, exactly.
Great day, weather-wise, and, great entertainment, that's things to do here.
Exactly. What's been the highlight of your day, Michael?
The hurleys, I'd say, Joe Canning and...
Did you buy one?
I did, I bought 2 of them, yeah.
Are you into the sport yourself?
I am, yeah.
Yeah? So that'll help you win a few championships then?
Hopefully now, next few weeks now, yeah.
Yeah? And do you think you'll come back next year?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
You're listening to the Irish Farmers Journal podcast, brought to you by Ornua, the home of Irish dairy.
President Michael D. Higgins had very kind words for all those farmers when he came here to open the National Ploughing Championships on Tuesday. If anyone was forgetting that farming is at the heart of Irish society, the presidential speech was a strong reminder. Let's listen to the highlights of his address.
The ploughing, for that's what it is called when people speak about it all over the country. are you going to the ploughing this year? And I think the beauty of the ploughing is how, if you like, the variety and richness of what there is on show. And I'm looking forward to having an opportunity of visiting some of the stands over the course of the day. One of the most important aspects of the Ploughing Championship is that not only is it celebrating farming in rural Ireland, but it's reminding all of us about how important farming and farmers are to the Irish economy and to Irish society. Farming is also, I'm reminded every year I come, as the heart of the real economy. An economy unlike the speculative economy, which gave us such difficulties during the recent crisis. The real economy and farming in it has continued to expand and to increase. And I'm very well aware that this year, of the many challenges currently facing farm families, including extreme unpredictability in relation to grain and livestock prices, and for dairy farmers, a dramatic fall of 30% in milk prices during the last 2 years. So there is no doubt, and I'm well aware of it, that the environment in which farmers work is a volatile one, and they create difficulties, particularly in this year, ones that have to be addressed. Beyond its economic importance, we should never forget the significant and profound role that farming plays in our society and on our planet, one that must never be reduced to that which is allowed by the market. Farming connects us to one of the most basic and fundamental of human activities, the production of food that is necessary to sustain human life. And our farmers are keeping alive something which is often made, I think, fragile, something which carries within it the knowledge of that will enable us to ensure food security, our human connection with nature and with the natural world. And then at a social level, farm families are the bedrock of our rural communities. They are the ones who drive the rural economy, who build people and maintain our rural organisations and institutions. And it is they who act as custodians for our rural heritage and our landscape. It is not possible to have sustainable communities in rural Ireland without a strong family farm sector. And we should recognise too that agriculture and food production is central to the type of sustainable economic development that we are now invited to pursue as we address sustainability in a globally responsible way. I hope at the end of 2015 we will all have achieved as a global community a commitment to keeping our planet in a better shape than we inherited and to renew it. We need to recognise that agricultural production and the agri-food sector are central pillars of Ireland's real economy, and they have been central in our recent economic recovery. During the recession, agricultural products increased by over 40%. It is essential that agriculture at the centre of any new model of growth and development that we put in place. But these are times of great change in agriculture, as this wonderful event demonstrates itself. The future sustainability of the sector demands that production be undertaken hand in hand, as I have been saying, with environmental responsibility and care. Farmers, through their stewardship of the land, serve a vital role in our society in producing healthy food while safeguarding our shared environment, including our wildlife, our air and our water. And it is so important that all those organisations of a voluntary kind are represented here in these 3 days. The challenges of climate change place a demand on all of us for change in our behaviour and change in our way of life. They make an additional demand and responsibility on farmers to ensure that they play their part in global efforts to reduce emissions. New technology and modern farming practices, however, I have to emphasise this, bring new dangers. And as with so many workplaces in a technological and globally competitive age, and farms must, after all, be regarded as places of work, increasingly sophisticated work methods can create a growing pressure to complete tasks quickly. This means that our farmyards in many places have changed rapidly and now carry myriad risks. This, combined with the inherent unpredictability of agricultural work, calls for a greater than ever need for safety awareness on our farms. And I'm looking forward to visiting some of the stands that are dealing with this now urgent issue. The 60% of workplace fatalities occur on farms, despite the fact that farm works account for just 6% of the workforce, 10 times the average. That is a deeply worrying statistic that must cause us all to reflect on the changing environment in which farmers and their families live and work.
We hope that you're enjoying this Irish Farmers Journal podcast, brought to you by Ornua, the home of Irish dairy. Find out more at farmersjournal.ie.
One of the main worries on the mind of farmers and other people in rural communities at the moment is their exposure to crime. This is evident from the survey conducted by the Irish Farmers Journal, which is available in this week's paper and online. Garda Commissioner Noreen O'Sullivan came to the Ploughing this week to tell the public what the Guards are doing about rural crime.
We have a number of very focused, targeted operations in place, looking at the people that are actually involved in crime. We're particularly conscious that, particularly in rural areas, the road network is there, so we've invested significantly in improving the fleet that we have. In the coming months you will see high-powered, high-visibility vehicles out on the roads, making sure that doing a dual purpose. One is making sure that the roads are safer for users to use, but also making sure that we are deterring criminals from using the road. And that coupled with the focused, targeted operations. But I think really what's important for us here over the next 3 days is to reassure the community, and particularly the rural community, that they are not on their own. In the last couple of months we've seen 300 Gardaí going out of the Garda College out into communities the length and breadth of the country. Over 60% of those members have gone to rural communities. Some of those have gone to urban areas, and they've been replaced by more experienced guards who've left urban areas and gone on transfer to rural areas. What you will see is a lot more Gardaí engaging with the neighbourhood groups, with the neighbourhood watch schemes we mentioned in Tira, and making sure that they are out there, that they are visible, but not just visible passing through the community as you described, but making sure that they are engaged in a meaningful way with the communities in which they work.
One person who has first-hand experience of rural crime is John Duggan, a farmer in Kilmeaden, County Waterford, who suffered from 3 successive burglaries. He told his story to Odile Evans of the Irish Farmers Journal news desk.
So I suppose the first occasion was, actually we had no gate at the road at the time. The yard was kind of open really. You don't be expecting these things to happen. And they just came in and they took salt metal tubes and things that way. So that was the first occasion. Mm-hmm. And then they came back again a few months later on. They took plastic. We do a bit of a contract baling and things that way, and we make our own services and things that way. We have our own baler. And they took plastic knitting, and to add insult to injury, they put the knitting and plastic into a flatbed trailer that we had here, 2-axle trailer, brought the whole lot away. So it was around 5,500 to 6,000 euro. So that was gone. So from there on, then things kind of quietened down. Then a neighbour of ours across the road saw a light in the yard one night, and we had the diesel outside on top of the container for the lorry. We have a cattle truck as well there. For the lorry and tractors, and with 2 tanks up on that, so they were filling the diesel out of that. And my son lived down the lane in a separate house, and he came up. He rang him, and he came up, and they caught the lads in the yard. They had a transit van, and they had maybe 10 or 12 5-gallon drums in the van. Some of those, they didn't all fill all those here because there was only 1 or 2 filled out of our tank because we knew what was in the tank. And so they made their getaway out of the yard anyway. They went to go around the jeep and got out on the road, and Paul and the other chap followed them. And they eventually lost him. They couldn't keep into him, like they were doing speed they were doing. They lost gallons down the lane and down the other side of the road. They hadn't time to close the back of the van. So they lost diesel out on the road and places that way, but there was 3 involved at the time. Yeah. So anyway, we rang the guards, and the guards came on, and in fairness to them, they made a good search around. So about 4 miles away from here, there's a pub and a car park there. So the boys abandoned the van in the car park, but the CCTV in the car park, but they had the hoods up over their heads, so we couldn't see, they couldn't know who was in it. So they left the van there anyway, and the guards took away the van to Tramore, to the compound in Tramore. The van was left in Tramore for, I'd say, 3 weeks to a month, and they got a search warrant for the owner of the van. And before that, talking to Miss Smart, the boys rang the guys the following morning and said the van was stolen. Anyway, they got a search warrant. They told us here they got a search warrant. Went into the house in Waterford. I won't mention any names. I know the names and they know the names. But anyway, they got a second key for the van in the house. Mm-hmm. And so they said they put a case together to go to the DPP, and the DPP wouldn't proceed with it.
So how did you find each of the 3 times, how did you find the Garda reaction? Obviously, the 3rd time you got a... After
the initial, we say, the day, there's no real follow-up after, like, they don't come back to you. Yeah. And they seem to take it as it happened, and that's it, like. Yeah. But, like, I said to the guards when they came here on several occasions, like, now, we weren't the only one. At the same time, there was a lot of burglaries, and taking the diesel was a big thing. But the local paper, we say, we have 2 local papers, News and Star and Waterford, and the Munster Express. I have never seen a conviction for any of that, we say, robbing diesel and taking diesel, we say, heating oil from back of private houses. I have never seen a conviction whether they're not being caught. They surely can't be all escaping. No. So they just don't seem to progress and get a conviction and follow it up and make an example of someone. These lads, they just don't care, like, they have nothing to lose. Number one, when they go to court, they have free legal aid, and the state will pay for everything. And if you've been to court, you'd have to get first of all, a solicitor, or maybe a barrister. So that comes out of your pocket. Mm-hmm. And with that, there's a possibility they'll come back again and do more damage. Because that's the mentality.
Yeah. And so even in confronting them, they're dangerous to confront them.
Yeah, I'm dangerous to confront them, yeah. And like I said afterwards about the last time, I was fairly grieved over it now, because we had lost a good bit of money over it and things that way, and it's the insecurity of the whole thing. And I was saying afterwards, like, we have tractors and yokes there and things that way. All they'd have to do is go in over the wall there if they wanted a standing knife, could have the 1,000 yokes, you know what I mean? So you're talking about a massive...
And what was the time frame of the robberies here then?
During night time, yeah.
But were they, all in 1 month or spread out?
Yeah, well, they were very busy there for about a month, because there was a lot of people, a lot of other people broke into besides us, like, and things that way.
Yeah. So is it this year, like?
No, this is 3 years ago now, I'd say.
Right.
Yeah. It's quieting down a bit now, like, I haven't heard much of it the last while now. So we put in a roller shutter door here, about €2,500. We put a gate up outside, cost nearly €5,000.
Electric gate,
yeah. Well, I think it's money well spent, even though you wouldn't have that money is not there in a farmer to be doing those things. Yeah. But you have to do. That's the way it is.
And how was your insurance affected?
Well, the insurance. The funny thing about the insurance is the tools out here weren't insured because there wasn't a locked door in front of it. And if it was inside their own garage, beside their own house, it would have been insured. So.
But your insurance premium didn't go up as such?
Not really, no, nothing of any significance, no.
And then your own lifestyle, how has it changed that?
Well, we wouldn't be nervous people like around here, but like, there's not much you can do really, like, you know what I mean? You just have to be vigilant, and we have the electric gate down. When we're not here, we lock it going away. It's closed when we go away, and anyone comes has to ring us to get back in again. So like. But then again, you see, they can come in through the land, and they have jeeps, and they come in through the land, and they have several ways of doing things. So, like, even lock up places. I've seen things on the journal there last week about a man up and you know what I mean. They come into the fields, they came and back in over ditches. And see, the killing thing about these things is those boys are all unemployed. They never worked, and never will work, and they have all days to drive around the country and assess places.
Yeah,
whereas you're at the penny a collar, paying your taxes and trying to make a living, trying to rear a family, and trying to do everything middle and right. And like, but the follow-up doesn't seem to fit the crime. Like, there's no, like I said to the guys here when they came here, I haven't seen a conviction in any of the papers. Like it's an easy touch, like, and it's kind of accepted, and that's it. Like.
Thank you, John.
The Irish Farmers Journal Weekly Podcast, brought to you by Ornua, the home of Irish dairy.
Now, one of the many events hosted in the Irish Farmers Journal stand at the Ploughing was the FBD National Farmyard Awards. Irish Country Living's consumer editor Ciara Leahy spoke to national winner Sean Treacy just after he received the €5,000 prize and the commemorative plaque.
Really surprised. I'm overwhelmed, really. It was a sort of family-run farm there for years, like 4 sisters, and Mum and Dad were there, but sadly Mum and Dad are not here now, and the 4 sisters are gone away and they're married and so on and so forth, but and sure, we all worked there as children and all may do it right and tidy up this corner and get that done or build another shed, or it's hard work, and it's worth it. Like it's nice and safe and it's clean, and it's you'd be trying to make it as safe as possible nowadays as well.
Absolutely. Tell us a bit more about the farm. How big is the farm and what are you farming?
I roughly around 100 acres there, my own, like, and then I've 50 that rented, and so I've in around 50 cows. I do calf to beef and do a bit of tillage, so a bit of everything, mixture of farm, but mostly dairy, and dairying would be the main income there,
So you've a lot going on. It's important. It must be a lot of work keeping it, to that standard as well. So what do you think made you stand out from the crowd? What do you think the judges saw in your farmyard that made you the winner?
I don't know. Like, they were there 2 years ago, and they had said it was good and everything was fairly good, but there was a couple of little points in it, and it was nice for him to say, there was maybe at the end of a ladder there, the concrete wouldn't have been as level, and so when somebody tell you something like that, and you look at it and God, somebody could trip there, but you just don't notice it yourself when you're going over it every day, like.
That was definitely something that I had talked to Catherine O'Leary, who was a judge, and she had said that to me. She said, you were a runner-up in 2013, and it was very clear when they went out to visit you this time that you had taken on board the points that they had made. Sean, another thing that the judges did comment on is they said you have a serious amount of signage across the farm. Are you very intent on that?
Well, sure, look at the chemical store, have a sign on that, and our medicine store have a sign on that. They're all locked and keys put away, and if anybody looks up something in the workshop there, to have to ring me and say, where's the key, sort of thing,
Absolutely, yeah.
And even a health and safety sign, say a doctor's number or the ambulance or things like that. There are a few fire extinguishers around, in different sheds, and you never know, sure.
Yeah, well, I suppose these little things really can make a big difference, especially if something does go wrong.
Yeah, sure, look at it, sure, it's time, just make a quick phone call. I know 999 is the quickest way to go, but, sometimes maybe...
Yeah.
You're
getting onto the most direct person when you need it. Absolutely, safety is definitely a priority. Yeah. Finally, Sean, we've heard you've won a fair few awards, but this one must be really the icing on the cake. Yeah. Can you just tell us a bit more about what it means for you and your family?
Look, it means a lot there. As I said inside, I was up here with Mum in 2013, and and she was overwhelmed, to get second in the dairy, and the first time ever entering into it, and. And we're sitting in the seat there, and she just said to me, she said, you got to go try and get one better someday for me. So
must feel very proud.
Here it is, and I'm delighted to get for both my mother and my father, because they trained us, they done everything for us really, and showed us the right path and everything. So
absolutely, I'm sure she's very proud of you. Final thing, Sean. Tell us what about your farm's address, because it just is the...
Well, it is a townsland, and there's only 2 houses in it,
Well, what's the address?
Paradise, Tom Haggard, County Wexford.
Well, folks, I think that sums it up. A huge congrats to Sean and his family, winners of this year's 2015 FBD National Farmyard Awards.
We hope that you're enjoying this Irish Farmers Journal podcast, brought to you by Ornua, the home of Irish dairy. Find out more at farmersjournal.ie.
Another highlight of the Ploughing this year has been the range of entrepreneurship and innovation springing from all corners of rural Ireland. We have full coverage of the winners of the Innovation Arena competition in this week's Irish Farmers Journal, but constant progress is everywhere. For example, Amy Fitzgibbon visited the stand of Lair Agri, a chemical and microbiological testing lab in Granard in County Longford.
I'm with Louise McCormick from Lair Agri. We're in the local enterprise village, which is home to more than 70 businesses this year. It's the biggest ever local enterprise village at the Ploughing. Louise, can you tell us a bit about your product here?
We're here mainly to talk about our new laboratory that's opened in Granard. We'll be doing soil and water analysis. Farmers understand that it's important to have their soil tested, both for saving money and for yield.
Yeah, and you also do the water analysis. How does that work?
We take in samples and we have a new spectrometer.
Okay.
First one in Ireland. It's called a microwave plasma spectrometer.
Sounds very technical.
Very technical. And we use that to measure the amount of elements that are in your sample.
Okay.
We do microbiological and chemical testing in the water.
Yeah.
Homeowners and private well owners should have their water tested every year, especially for bacterial testing.
Yeah. And a lot of farmers would be using the wells now that water charges have come in.
A lot of homeowners that be reopening wells.
Yeah.
New property owners that there's a well on their property. They should have their well tested, and they should have it tested every year or every second year for chemicals.
So you test what's actually coming through the tap, is that right?
We can test what's coming through the tap, and we can test what's actually in your well.
And then can you help the farmer after that? What kind of follow-up is there, or is there any...
We can give advice on what the best fertilisers to spread or what the best chemicals to use within your water to keep your metals down and your E. coli.
And how much do your packages start at then, say for the soil testing, for example?
For the soil testing, our basic package starts at €14.
Okay.
And that's pH, lime requirement, phosphorus and potassium.
Okay.
It goes up from there.
And is it more expensive if you have to go out to the farm?
Yes.
Yeah.
We do have a call-out fee.
Okay.
We're working about €5 per field.
Okay. And then for the water testing?
We can do a call-out charge, but it's a simple test to do.
Yeah.
Fill your bottle and you send it in to us. We can give bottles. We have bottles here today.
Okay. And you also are involved in dairy biosecurity equipment as well, is that right?
Yeah. Damien here is our
dairy biosecurity specialist. You've been named as a specialist in this area. Can you tell us a little bit about your dairy biosecurity products?
Okay, well I suppose we kind of start from just the basics, I guess, like we have the teat dips for thermogenic bacteria, and just like they're the kind of the heat sensitive bacteria that don't easily get killed. So we kind of do like extensive research and development just to try and get our product from just the page to the market. Like we have our own lab, we have our own testing facilities, we send samples away to get them tested microbiologically. We're in collaboration with ONIT Microbiological Sciences Lab.
And have you found more interest from farmers, obviously, since the abolition of the quotas? Like, has there been more kind of interest in these products, obviously, with people, farmers expanding and converting to dairy?
Exactly, like there's been an increase, and it's kind of constant as well. Like you don't have the kind of lull period that you would have had, like when farmers are drying off and they're not doing any work at all. So that's kind of obviously good. It just keeps it rolling along, so it's not like that peak and trough. So presumably going forward, that will carry on more and more. That it'll just be year round, hopefully.
And can farmers get your products online, or how do you usually market?
We usually we sell either direct to local farmers, or we are in I think around 50 shops around the country at the moment.
Excellent. And is this your first year at the Ploughing?
This is our second year. We were here last year in this, I think the Enterprise Ireland tent as well. We had our own under the Lair Agri brand. Like now we're here just at the Lear analytical one as well. So
excellent. So you've got your own stand now, so that's an upgrade. And have you had much interest so far from people?
Yeah, there's a lot of people coming around. I suppose now it's very topical what we're doing, especially like the water testing and things like that. So,
excellent.
like with the gloss scheme as well coming in, so farmers are going to need their soil tested for that too. So.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and best of luck with it.
Thanks very much.
The Irish Farmers Journal podcast, online at farmersjournal.ie, on the Irish Farmers Journal app and on iTunes every Thursday. Brought to you by Ornua, the home of Irish dairy.